Right now, a troubling stretch of roadway construction on the north side continues to raise safety concerns. We're talking about the I-10 and 1604 interchange.
Yeah, just before Christmas, another close call left several drivers shaken. Tonight, our Yami Virhin investigates how vehicles were able to get up onto a partially demolished ramp in front of La Cantera.
Jesus!
It's a stretch of 1604.
Holy
and the I-10 interchange that has been a headache for many.
Holy
as long as construction has been going on. Numerous incidents have occurred, resulting in injuries, including those to construction workers.
This is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me.
Just before Christmas, another incident took place.
Anyone who was driving on that road could have very well just driven off the side.
Tegan McCartan had just returned home for the holidays when she experienced a shocking incident as her mother drove from the airport.
We got onto the highway and my mom realized that she needed to get off, so we took the first exit that we saw.
I can't comprehend. This is a sheer drop-off.
Only it wasn't an exit. It was the remains of what was an exit that she had taken before it was beginning to be demolished. And it was not blocked off.
McCartan says they saw other cars ahead, stuck on top of the partially demolished ramp.
I'm not moving at all.
She and her mother recorded video of where they ended up.
We pulled alongside one. It was a man. He said that he had been stuck there waiting for the police for 45 minutes. And there were other people up ahead too, people just driving on to this area because it was not blocked off. And you could see right off the side, if we had kept going and my mom had not pulled to the left, we very well could have just driven right off of the overpass.
Several calls were made to 911 and a police officer arrived. According to an SAPD report, quote, a total of 6 vehicles took an exit that looked to be open with a gap in place and no barricade, but ended up being stuck on a highway. Police arrived and assisted the vehicles back onto the highway. TxDOT was contacted to close the gap, end quote.
There were no signs at all. There were 2 cones, but they were very, very spaced out to where it kind of just looked like an exit was having construction done around it. It was not blocked off to where cars could not go.
Fox SA also contacted TxDOT, which responded in part claiming that drivers, quote, improperly drove between construction barriers and entered a work zone authorized for construction equipment and vehicles. The personal vehicles were escorted safely out of the work zone.
There's so many things just wrong with this whole area. I don't feel safe driving on those roads, and I don't think other people should feel safe driving on these roads right now.
Jesus!
11 months ago, a similar incident occurred. Video shows a wooden beam-like object flying off the ramp onto the eastbound lane of 1604.
When did you see the thing coming down?
Well, I see it, but it's nothing I can do it. It's nothing I can do it. It's like you don't go anywhere.
Then a few weeks later, another incident occurred in the same area. According to TxDOT, around 1 a.m., contractors were removing a temporary beam when it fell and struck an aerial lift with 2 workers inside. Both workers were transported to the hospital. At the time, TxDOT stated, quote, we are working with Williams Brothers Construction to ensure the worksite is following all safety protocol and guidelines, end quote. But McCartan doesn't believe that enough is being done.
No signs at all. I could very well see where cones should have been placed, and there were none. There was a gigantic gap where 2 cars at once could have driven side by side and entered that ramp.
After making a multiple point turn on the loose gravel of the partially demolished ramp, McCartan and her mother had to drive against traffic to get out. In the same statement, TxDOT claimed they addressed the issue with Williams Brothers, the contractor. Quote, in an effort to enhance safety, the contractor has reduced the gap width when opening and closing barriers at work zone entrances and installed smart work zone signs to include sensors that activate when vehicles pass through the barrier, end quote. Williams Brothers are the same contractors we have reported on in the past.
We don't know what happened in this particular instance.
In 2016, Gerardo Lopez fell to his death as he worked on the highway ramp at 410 and 151. According to the website for the Occupational Health Administration, or OSHA, in 2015, a worker fell 50 feet to his death at the site of the 151 Ingram Road project. And according to OSHA's website, Williams Brothers' initial penalty was more than $30,000. Then in June of 2012, another Williams Brothers employee also fell to his death as he was working on the 281 and 1604 flyover project. Victor Trevino lost his footing and fell 70 feet. He had a safety harness, but it was not connected, according to police. We've also contacted Williams Brothers multiple times about all of these incidents, but have not heard back.
Yami Virgen, Fox SA.